Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the workshop. Fantastic to have you here. Now, I've already been here a couple hours. You see, yesterday the handles that I ordered for Mike Boyd's Tomahawk turned up and, yeah, they were too small, so I had to make some more. Now, the Tomahawk is ready to send off with some spare handles. Remember yesterday's video, drop a comment so you can win it. And of course, today is day 2 of working on the Damascus billet for the sword that we're going to be sending to Liam Hoffman of Hoffman Blacksmith. So it is fantastic to have you here. We're going to have a great day. I hope you enjoy. So this is the billet of Damascus steel that we made on yesterday's video. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. And same thing, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And as I mentioned in yesterday's video, what I want to be doing is I want to cut off a slice real fast so that I can have a look at how the pattern looks and decide what the next step is going to be in the pattern manipulation process. Because of course, the joy of Damascus steel is that we can indeed control how the pattern is going once we learn how we're moving it around and learn how to do it best. So this is what the pattern looks like on this piece. And the interesting thing is there are these little kind of squares which I hadn't anticipated appearing. And because they're there and because they're not perfectly centered, I've decided what we're gonna do is as follows. We're gonna light the forge, burn my hands, and we're gonna keep drawing it down and we're gonna manipulate the pattern some more. And now I'm gonna go to the whiteboard and show you. So that 16th twist that I did yesterday, it didn't really seem to do a whole lot apart from move these squares back off from another. If I hadn't have done it, would have been better because these squares would be in line and we could go straight for a ferry flip. To get an interesting pattern from this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work it square. We're gonna re-square it in the other dimension. So these are now going diagonally. We're gonna take this square, we're gonna forge it down into a rectangle like this. Those squares will be now on the bias. We'll stack up the rectangle 3 or 4 times, forge it down, and then we're gonna go for the ferry flip. Okay, so that piece has been forged out. That's gonna get ground, cut, restacked. Now that that's cooling down, I say we start welding up these 500,000 layers of steel. This 500,000 layer billet, so then that's going to be able to be ground, cut up, restacked. I don't know if I'll be doing that today because now, after this last beat, it's going to be time to go back to the first piece I started working on today, that mosaic. We're going to do all that stuff. Before I do any grinding, striking anvils have turned up. There should be 45, 50 or something on the website. They'll probably end up going soon. Let's go! Go, go, go! Oh, no! Go! Yes! Watch out! No!
Second attempt. We did it!
Woohoo! It's now time to suit up and go into the grinding room. Let's go! So now we're gonna cut off a little slice and we're gonna look at the pattern. There we go. Tokely, tiggly wriggly. That's right, now we're gonna TIG weld this together. We're gonna TIG weld the handle on. We're gonna go back in the forge. It is heating up again for another forge welding heat. We're gonna draw it down, and then it's gonna be time for a ferry flip. For now, TIG welding time. We've TIG welded it up. It's looking great. This type of weld's a lot easier to make than that 9-piece weld. So you can see I've only welded on the ends, so that should be fantastic. Forge needs a little more heat. A little while earlier, while that was in the bandsaw, I had enough time to TIG weld this up. This was billet number 2 from yesterday, so this will get welded up, forge welded up, that is, once I have a spare few moments. Okay, once I have a spare few moments, this is gonna get forge welded up. For now, we're gonna focus on that, as there's still a lot of work that needs to be done before we start forging the sword for Hoffman Blacksmithing. So this has started cooling down nice and slow, which is gonna be good. We've got a lot of machining to do to that for our ferry flip. Now what we're gonna do, however, this is the billet number 2 from yesterday that I said just a few minutes ago I wouldn't touch today. Well man, we got time. This is gonna go in the fire and we are gonna forge weld it. More sparks, plenty of whack in today's video. That piece has been forged, it's now out of the fire. I kept it square, and there I re-squared it. I didn't quite explain re-squaring enough yesterday. This is re-squaring. We have a pattern that's going this way. We turn the piece on the 45. We square it 45 degrees to the original square. This makes the pattern be now on the bias. There's an interesting pattern in that. Obviously, I was doing that between things that I was filming on this camera, so you haven't seen it, but that's gonna be a fun surprise when we do start opening that one up. For now, I'm gonna run into the grinding room, and I'm gonna go ahead and grind the surfaces on the 500,000 layer Damascus billet. It's there on the floor now. Grind the surfaces, then we'll start throwing it into the bandsaw, cutting it up, and that should be great. course, because you've clicked on this video, you know what we're making. I don't know what I'm making, but I'm gonna make the decision now. And the great thing is that you guys, you YouTube commenters, by the way, I should say I read almost every single comment, almost always, so I sincerely appreciate the comments, and especially today, because the suggestions were just fantastic, and it was such a close, such a close call between the scimitar and the KHOPESH. Dun, dun, dun! And we chose the KHOPESH, obviously, because you've seen the title below. We're making a KHOPESH. And why did I choose the KHOPESH? Chose the KHOPESH because a scimitar, it needs like a 30 to 35 inch long blade. It's a long weapon. And the KHOPESH, we can keep it a little shorter, which is going to fit the criteria for what it is that Liam wants. Now, of course, Liam Hoffman Blacksmithing. This is who we're doing the collaboration with. Like myself, he's a young entrepreneur, and he is an extraordinary craftsman at his craft of blacksmithing, and especially bladesmithing. The knives he makes are incredible. He is unbelievably talented. His channel is in the description below. Once I make this, I'll be shipping it to him, and I cannot wait to see his videos where he finishes this off, and I seriously cannot wait to learn from them. Really informative stuff. Make sure you go check out his channel. I can't wait to see you tomorrow on part 2 of making our Egyptian KHOPESH. I hope you have a fantastic evening. Bye-bye.